Ladies and gentlemen, we're having today Ophelia Jacarini. Hello,
Hello,
how's it going?
very good.
Amazing, amazing. I'm very excited. It was like very spontaneous that we have made it up today. And we are in her beautiful atelier. She will tell us, we will start from the back to the front. Okay, we'll start like from where we are right now and how did all this happen. What I like before she starts, I pointed out the podcast with her because she has a nice quote on Instagram, or like a nice, not quote, it's a bio, it's description of what she's doing. And I quote it. I translate movement into sculpture, painting, photo, and installation. Before we dive anywhere, would you please tell us more about this?
It's a challenge to describe what a practice on bio on Instagram because you have a limited amount of characters. So I'm really happy that you highlighted it because it took me forever to think, how can I say everything that I do with such a limited amount of words?
Right.
And so I hope it translates good enough.
I had the same problem with my academy. I didn't know what exactly to say because the same limited letters we have. But I liked a lot that you said, you didn't mention I translate ideas. You said I translate movement into. Can you tell me more? What is interesting for you in the movement? Like, why are you translating movement? Which is like all ideas are movement in the end, but what is interesting that you say movement into something?
Because actually it's more accurate for me to say I translate movement more than ideas into painting, sculptures, or videos or photos, because I'm obsessed with movement. I grew up dancing, I studied ballet and jazz dance.
Oh, nice.
And I'm really so obsessed with movement to the point that I could sometimes follow someone in the street because the dress that is moving around the person is just like catching my eyes, and I just forget what's around. And I'm obsessed by the way it moves and the aesthetic of the movement. And for me, this is why I capture motion.
Very beautiful. So it's hypnotize us, like for example, like what you're saying. It's when I see also an artist moving, as you described, I feel like I understand what they're saying, what they're doing, but I don't know what it is in words, but it looks amazing to follow. I would like actually ask about, what is this place here exactly where we are right now recording? If you tell us, audience, like what is it right now? Like where are you right now? Because I think right now you're in the top of your career, right? Until right now. It's not like we still have so much to have, but right now you are in the good place, right?
So it's my workplace. Mm-hmm. It's my studio, or atelier, as we say in French. The advantage of having such a big space for me is really to combine all of my practices together, yet in separate rooms. I do paintings here. I do sculptures in another room, so it can be dusty and messy without coming into the wet paint. I can do photography in another room. I can do embroidery in another one. I can show my work in another room. And it's almost hard for me to display and share how big it is and how different bits and bits I have put together to use the space in a very...
She gave us a tour before we start the podcast, and I like as she says, the separation, so audience can come and watch, or audience come and watch how the artist is creating. So it's like two different complete perspective. And she has a space for training, which tells me or asks me this question in my head: what made you decide I wanna own my own atelier or my own painting studio? What happened that you said, okay, I need to have this own space?
I recently came back from 11 years in Hong Kong, where
Wow.
I was living and practicing there. The real estate is very high, and the opportunity for me to have a space where I could work was not an option. I had to work and live in the same space, but sometimes my work and my private life is so intertwined that there's no break. And for me, having the chance to separate where I live and where I work is a fantastic opportunity. That's why a year ago when I came back to France, that was the point. I needed to have a separate space for my living and my work. Yet
Right.
I still basically spend all my time here. I work until 1 a.m. and the problem with doing what you
All
love...
artists.
Yeah, it's hard
I
to
know.
stop, but then you complain to yourself, I have to take a break, because when you do take a break, you have fresh eyes.
Yes.
on your work.
Right.
So for me, that was the most important thing was to be able to step away from the work in order to see it better.
Correct. I agree, actually. What did you do in Hong Kong 11 years?
Same as this, in a much smaller space, but with a lot of opportunity to work with tech. So I had this idea of I want to capture movement from dance, and if possible, I could have a dancer that would dance from point A to point B, and somehow at the end of the performance, there would be a sculpture.
Wonderful.
But it's not possible to do this yet because of gravity, because of like science. This goes beyond the concept of science because you cannot transform or create something tangible from a movement. My hand moves here, nothing is being produced within this movement.
You need more time to create it.
Exactly. So when I got this idea, I was in a residency in Washington, D.C., and when I flew back to Hong Kong, I started to try to wander around tech, and this is how I got opportunity to work with big firms like Tencent, and they have an amazing place where you can use their tools and their technicians, and you can say, I want to capture movement from a dancer, and then they apply all the
points on it.
Points on the dancers.
Follow, yes.
Exactly, and then this was my way of starting to kind of work with tech. And then I had my own team, and then we played with VR and things like that. So the proximity with Shenzhen actually really helped me. So during that time living in Hong Kong, I had the opportunity to develop things that I would probably have never even thought about if I had been living in France.
That's very interesting. How did you go there in the first place? Like, what was like that happened? You said, okay, let's go to Hong Kong and start painting there, working there, creating there.
I took the map.
Okay.
And I picked Hong Kong, and I was like, okay, let's go.
Really? 12 years ago, you said, let's go there. Okay.
I was in Paris. I was working in fashion. I had a great time in fashion.
Wait a second, you're too fast for us to fashion. We have to drop on all those words. I don't know so much about her. Actually, I know nothing about... she's like too hidden on Instagram. You check, you see, but actually you talk and you find like so many more things. So we're gonna dive into the fashion and dive into the dancing, but I'm going slowly for us, hopefully. So you were in the fashion. Did you create clothes or you designed them, or what did you do in fashion before?
I studied both fashion and fine arts, and I couldn't choose. I was so linked to fabric. I loved the textile. I was an embroidery designer, and then I was a textile designer. It was great. I was working for multiple brands for LVMH, like Dior, John Galliano, things like that. But during that time, I was really young, yet I was surrounded by lots of non-French people living in Paris, and they had a very specific foreigner eye on my city, and I was like, I want to be a foreigner. I want to go somewhere else.
I see.
I felt like I was missing on something, and so I quit the job, sold my car, like whatever, my everything, and picked on the map and just left. And I thought, if I don't like it, I will come back.
Plan next plan.
In the end, I stayed 11 years.
Wonderful. And as you went to Hong Kong, you could find a job as a fashion designer, or
no.
How did you figure out that?
I struggled for a hell long time. I was a waitress in a bar, because obviously when you don't know anyone in the city...
We know the basics.
I was making €3 an hour.
Oh my God.
I could not even afford like food, so I was eating rice, things like that. But somehow I was so happy.
Okay.
On paper, my life was terrible, but I was happy because I was a foreigner, finally. Yeah. I was looking at the Chinese sign, which meant zero for me. I was like, I don't know what it means, but I love it. It's so exotic. And
nice.
I kept taking photos of those Chinese signs because I was like, oh, it's so fantastic.
They look also very beautiful, actually. They look a beautiful painting, drawing, I don't know. Yeah.
It's actually a heritage from old time in Hong Kong to have those like little neons. But yeah, long story short is that I was a waitress, and then people pitied me in the bar, and they said, this is my business card, I'm gonna help you, whatever you need. And that was really nice in Hong Kong. is very different from France.
Very different. I don't know yet. We will talk about this. So, and how did it start that you said, let's start with with what you have studied in Hong Kong? Like, did you get the help from one person, or did you go into a university, or how did you find your right path finally there? Like that you start to work with tech companies or with others who allow you to do study movement of people and paint it.
So because I was struggling with paying the rent by being paid €3 an hour, I started to notice a lot of paintings in the restaurants. And so I said to a few people, hey, by the way, I know how to paint in case you need something on the wall. And then one person trusted me and said, okay, I have a white wall. This is a postcard. I want you to paint this on the wall. And I did it.
Wonderful.
And then one thing comes to another. I basically opened a company which is based on illustration.
Wonderful.
And so that paid for my 11 years of my life in Hong Kong. In that company, I answered to very specific commission work from different clients, whether it goes from banking to casinos to fashion or food and beverage or hospitality. I design menus, I design packagings, like everything that can have an illustration on it, I can answer to the order.
Very nice. Is the company still running?
Yeah.
So you are in Paris and your company is still running. Very nice. So you still do the work for them?
It's my own company, so I can work from distance.
Right.
I try to handle my time between both. And then so the company started officially in 2017. And after, you hit a sort of glass ceiling,
yes.
I thought, okay, this company is great. It gives me my freedom. I can choose the amount of time that I spend on whatever I want to do. But my practice and my obsession with movement was always there.
How did it start, actually?
The obsession with movement?
Yeah, because you told me you were in Washington and the idea popped. Or if you can recall to me, what exactly happened that you said, I need to do this?
So the breaking point started when I was 10 years old. I recently thought about it. I went to see a ballet with my mom. So my mom was also a ballet dancer. She took me to see this.
You're an artist family, okay.
So she studied ballet. She never danced professionally, but she's
that's
transmitted it to me.
Yes, genes.
Exactly. So she took me to see a ballet from Béjar, and I saw everything happening on stage, and I was 10 years old and I was overwhelmed and I almost wanted to press pause because I couldn't digest the amount of beauty and aesthetics that I could see on stage. And I was wondering, should I look at this one dancer or this couple? I mean, because what they're doing is so beautiful, but also if I step back, I can see the whole group of movement, but I don't know if I want to see the details or if I want to see the overall of the movement. And I was overwhelmed by everything, and it was so beautiful. And also, as a dancer, I wanted to know, but how does it feel if I do this followed by this, and if someone lifts me up? And I also wanted to embody what they were doing on stage, and I wanted to try as well as I wanted to witness. And it's just mind-blowing, this moment of.
Sure.
And from that moment, I was only 10 years old and I didn't know much about art or everything. It's just this memory, I just had to hold on and wait to see what it would become. And it's only recently that I realized, oh, that led to that.
You brought me here.
Yeah.
So you said you danced jazz and ballet. Did you study that also, or you were attending classes? Did you have shows?
I studied. And then I had shows, but then I had to choose from dance, fashion, or art.
Which is hard, right?
Exactly.
But you came somehow to it that you combine them on, I cannot say just painting, because you do
sculptures.
You do many other things, so how do you combine all of them right now? Do you put them on a wall, in the head? How do you combine them? Because it appears to me you didn't drop them, that you still do them, but into one project, you doing them in a frame. What is this actually, if you can explain it in your words?
I actually, it's a good question because I don't really know what makes me choose to do a sculpture rather than painting. Sometimes I produce sculpture from movement, like this one, It's actually the motion of 5 dancers. And with the sensors on the body, I can really capture their movements, and then I play with dancer number 1. I put it here, dancer number 2 here, there, and it creates this sculpture. And it's very unique to a specific moment in time, because if they dance again today, they would do a completely different movement.
Right.
For these paintings, I asked, for example, this girl is named Raina Butler. She's a choreographer and dancer, and I asked her to tell me who she was with the words, and then I said, can you please dance who you are without the words, just with movement? Tell me your story. And so she did, and she came to the studio 1 year after I met her, and she witnessed the paintings and the result of our interview together for the first time. And she realized how much I really painted how she was back then 1 year ago.
Wow.
And if she had to do it again today and tell me who she was today, it would be again different motion, different movement. And for me, movement is not just a body dancing. I'm obsessed with movement that is like cloud or fabrics moving. Of course, dancers, because it's my background. And an identity is also always moving. Who you are today is going to be different from tomorrow.
Right. See, I have always an issue in my head that many of us think time is a unit of the universe. To me, it's movement, you know. If we have movement, we have time. If there's no movement, just no time and nothing. So, as you're saying, because we move, or the moon moves around the earth, or so many movements, actually, no movement, no life. But I agree, this is what actually one of the things brought me to you, to have a podcast with you about the movement. And so excited still, we have like so many to talk about. How did you actually, or when was the point that you stopped physically dancing, if I can say that, into just focusing on putting all the magic in your head and then in your hands?
I would say in 2019, I had my last paid show. I was dancing on stage, controlling the lights that were projected on walls around me.
Nice.
With the help of tech. So whatever movement I would do with my hands, it would change the motion of the projected light around. And then I realized if I want to keep pursuing this intense research on how to translate movement into paintings or sculptures or everything, I can't use myself as a dancer. And this is how I started to collaborate with dancers, also because it feeds me to learn from others.
Right.
And it's easier for me to witness the movement and to think, okay, I want to do a sculpture or I want to do like a painting or something, if it's not always me doing everything, the sculpture, the painting, the moving, the this and that.
Can I ask, it's like kind of tricky question because I land there very often with me or with my guests. If you are there to choose between sculpture or between painting, where would you go?
I don't know how to answer. I'm actually very much navigating between both these days. I really combine two.
I know you combine.
Yeah, it's so hard.
But you are exactly the same person giving 100% when you do a sculpture and the same when you do a painting. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Like you, it's not like, oh, that's my 100% creation and Ophelia and everything when you do the painting? Or is it the opposite when you do the sculpture? Or is it like exactly
equal? I think I'm, equal.
Very nice. So you do those two things very, is it like something else you do very, very, very much equal?
No, I would say maybe it's more like the topic for me. Catching the identity of the dancer was something that I wanted to see more as a painting. Mm-hmm. But if I want to turn a movement into something tangible, then I use sculpture. Mm-hmm. So I think it's really the matter of a question and
what you want to do with it.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. That's very nice.
And now I'm also working with a singer.
Oh, that's a different thing.
So again, my work is all about movement, and we met a year ago, and we're working on the movements of the air going through her body when she sings. She's an opera lyric singer.
Okay.
And when I met her, I was like, I want to do a sculpture. I knew from day one that it would be a sculpture. It wouldn't be a painting. And now we're working with doctors to help us to capture those movements, because I can capture the movement of a tangible body like a dancer that I know how to do because I practiced long enough. I can put the sensors, I can use different tech. But air, I had never done it before. This is how we turned into medical fields.
Interesting. Can you tell us the process of, let's say you're gonna do this painting again with a new dancer? What does it mean like we work together, and what does it mean we have to put, like, just walk us through this process actually, and how long would it take to do a painting like this? We'll just take an example. You can take another example, but tell us the process.
So for example, this one with the deer is from a choreographer, Tutu Zali, November. He was presenting a piece in Opéra de Paris, and that's how we met. We started to discuss. We have some of similar ideas of movement and interests, dance and everything. And somehow he knew Rena as well, which I didn't know, and they both told me later on. And so I had done the work with Rena, and then I met Tutu, and he offered me to come to follow his next show in Switzerland, which I did. And one of the show he was working on, called Hope, had a solo show with a solo dancer dancing with the deer head.
Yes, I think I know
and
that.
You've seen it?
Yes.
And so when I saw this on stage, also the lights were blue.
Yes.
I think it kind of spoke to me because I use blue a lot.
This is why I connected. I was like, I know this. Okay.
And this is how I got to.
And how do you work? Like, you just watch the show and you go back to your atelier and you start to think about it first, or you see the picture, you draw, or how is it? How?
So for both those pieces, I have to ask the person, so what brought you to do these kind of movements? Who are you? What's your story?
It's amazing.
So, and then once I have the wordings, I then take the photography from the work. So Rana had to dance, and I took pictures of her moving. And then I took pictures of Tutu's work.
Yes. His people who dance solo, yes.
And then from the pictures, I can then start working on the paintings.
Nice.
But it's sort of like, as you mentioned, time is also very important for me, because it's such a human thing. Like, it's a concept. It doesn't really exist.
Yes,
but we have to, without
for
going
plans,
too
deep, for flight, for train, so we don't mess up timing. But I agree. So it's like, would it take like 1 month, 2 months, 6 months to create, or like there's no time limit?
So that one was like a year, also because I work on other projects and everything. Yes. This one was a little bit less because I already had set up the studio, so it was easier. But what I do on one painting, I take a little bit of it's like, you see a performance, it starts from minute 1, it goes to minute 3,
right? And
it's all displayed on one canvas.
Right.
It's like you see everything in one spot. So that's why it's sort of like a singularity in quantum physics, because singularity has no time, like black holes,
Yes.
So it's kind of like the witnessing of there's no time, everything is on one point.
Right. Actually, so it sounds to me, or it appears, like not just sounding, it appears that you are working towards, if I can say this, history actually, because even by years of you living and creating more, we all gonna pass. So this work is going to stay like for so long, I think, and I hope people can see that, learn from this. Are you planning to do more plans so people can understand this without knowing that? What you just told me right now, like by just seeing, it looks definitely different if I'm watching from outside, but I wouldn't know this beautiful mindset and philosophy behind what you told me. How do you think can we make it possible for people to understand the art behind what they're seeing, like, because it's another art behind this art happening. You're not just looking, I'm gonna draw this and this, no, you're like, let's have a conversation. Let's take pictures, like you have so many material actually, and then you build your own, or you put on it your own flavor. How can we become more aware of your work?
It's actually a challenge, because often I'm being asked, how did you do this sculpture? You say it comes from dancers, and the process is not always very appealing, aesthetically speaking.
Yeah.
most of the time, if I work on a sculpture, I have to be on my computer, which I don't think I would put a video of me being like this for hours.
No, this is actually not what I'm. Maybe my question was wrong.
Oh no, I know, I know what you mean. Like, what's the thinking process behind?
Like I would like, for example, Michelangelo or Shakespeare or Beethoven or any other artist. We until now, even after they passed like 100 years, 500 years and longer, we still do their work. Some of them, some of us know what they did, and some we don't know. And I'm so interested always like on what brought you to this. What did you think? How did you think? Because if I will learn this or if I will read this, I will get inspired on how to apply my things also. I think we have so much to learn from how you're working, beside just enjoying your beautiful art. We can also learn a lot of what you're doing. How do you think can we do this? Maybe attend to workshop, attend your creation, maybe like.
I guess it's a question you have to answer to me. You tell me how.
Yes, I'm thinking loud. Like, okay, we're gonna think about this. Maybe we're gonna find an answer for it. I would go for a question was like a bit not hard to answer, but you need to think about it. What is actually the bridge you didn't know between you creating your art and the whole things that you had to learn? Like, I have to learn how to draw. I have to learn that this A works with this, or we have to learn that there's something called frame. I have to learn the color works with this. Like, how was it for you, like learning this bridge actually to get to where you are right now?
It's funny because I recently said to someone, I didn't know that being an artist would also mean to do construction work, like renovating this space, building my own canvases, because the staircase that leads the way to here is too small for the canvas. So I have like a specific canvas that can be folded into two. So it's like a lot of thinking.
Technical stuff.
I also didn't know that I would have to learn tech and 3D rendering softwares and all these things.
I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
And what did you not know also about, like, could you just draw anything by the age of 10 or 20, or did you have to, you studied the fine art, I know, but like, did you enjoy the process? Did you enjoy that bridge? Was it like for you, this is too boring, I want to do that, but to do that I have to learn this, first? How was that one for you?
Oh, it was quite fluid because I was always drawings, to the point that my parents had a drawer when I was 3 years old. They had a drawer in the kitchen, and every time I would like give them a drawing, they would put it in the drawer and then empty the.
I see the old ones.
Within a week, so I was constantly drawing nonstop. Like, you would put me somewhere, give me a pen and a paper, and I would just be quiet. It was very convenient for them.
What did you draw actually?
Oh, when I was a kid, like nothing, like everything and nothing, And then the more you grow up, start to think, oh, maybe I can draw an apple with the shadow, and how does the shadow goes when the sun is here or there, and you keep drawing nonstop. And when I was in art school, one of the teachers said, you want to know how to draw, just draw constantly, keep doing it. Beautiful. There's no rules. Like, you can, of course, you have rules of perspective, schools, but there's also like what makes you is like
you break those rules later.
Training nonstop, and you'll find your own voice through your drawings.
To my work, right?
Yeah.
So, like you're saying, in another words, or maybe you agree on, first I have to learn the techniques, and then later I can do my own style, maybe.
I think learning the techniques gives you enough knowledge to play around.
Correct.
Which, if you don't know much, then there's less opportunity for you to discover and develop and make it your own.
I agree. Like, and the same like for us, we do also dance films. I create them, but to do that, I have to do 100 trillion steps before, which I didn't know, But I understand, like, the cleaner we are, the beautiful the art looks like, actually. I think I want to ask you, why do you choose dancers for your work?
So at first, because I come from dancing, and my moment of transcendence came from the Béjart ballet when I was 10 years old. And also for me, a dance performance is really much a way to represent time passing, because you sit and it's gonna last for 20 minutes or 1 hour, and after the show you're like, oh my god, 20 minutes is gone, like really it was. And sometimes it goes for way longer than you thought, or you know what I mean?
Right.
But often we don't even realize that time is going. And for me, dance really displays that by movement, time passing, aesthetic, it's all combined together.
Very beautiful. Do you have like preferred styles? Like would a hip hopper dancer fit in with a tango dancer or a salsa or folklore dancer fit in, or like is it just for ballet or modern or contemporary? It's not like just like don't get my question wrong. It's just like
coming from a
the one you
ballet.
prefer with.
As I come from the ballet background, I have really much my passion for that.
You can
but
connect with them.
Yeah, contemporary as well, jazz. I did more folklore because I was invited into an artist residency in Indonesia, and I worked with the local dancers there.
Also.
So that was fantastic, and I made sculptures from it, which is very different from a sculpture from ballet because of the movement.
Sure.
The sculptures, they have more like sparks and things like that because they were
the clothes,
dancing.
The costumes.
No, they were dancing with the sword.
Oh, really? I didn't know
like
that.
Big knives and things like that. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I have to know. I have to learn.
It comes in with the motion capture. So yeah, of course, I'm very intrigued. It's just a matter of time.
Right.
There's only 24 hours in one day. I wish I could capture the movement of tango and salsa and this and that, but it's.
I think we are all already very thankful that you're doing this, because I think not many artists in the world got this idea and doing this, which makes it very special what you're doing. And even if there's someone who's doing this, we will still all do it different. Even it's the same idea. Even if we try to copy, it will be always different. So I like that you put the movement into a voice, a language. Are you having a current projects right now you're working on and you need support, or you need someone to help out or something?
So I think the project that I mentioned with the singer, we're currently working towards that. We have to raise money because some of the technical...
Did you hear that? Okay, we need to raise money.
I'm really bad at doing this, those paperwork. Because one of the camera that we need to use for this caption is very expensive, but also I think I need more people to know about it. But it's just very much at a beginning stage.
Okay.
We're gonna capture the actual movement of her singing on the 9th of January. So it's
wow. Okay.
From there, I think I will be able to, from that motion capture of her breath, I will be able to start drafting the sculptures. And then I need to think about what kind of materials do I want, because, for example, this one is from the movement of dancers, but for air, I want something that is more see-through, like crystal or like glass or something like that. Then it's a matter of trying, but trying things requires money.
And time.
Exactly. So, I think first, it's never been done before, capturing the air.
Yeah, I think all this work is never being done like this, so it's not just capturing. You're doing fantastic thing.
Thank you.
In that you got an idea and didn't say, oh, that's it. No, get an idea. Oh, let's see how we make it actually work. And I like this, and I like that you're still an artist. I would not say fighting for life, but holding as an artist to live, and hopefully to be very free very soon financially, because as I know, many artists always have side job to cover up, and I'm happy that you don't have this. I have actually 2 questions left. One is more as if there is something which is still in your head, as a project, would you share it with us? Maybe we can help, maybe we know someone, maybe someone who's listening knows someone on how to get you beside the singing project. Is it an idea? Actually, I would like to try this, do this, but I don't have the right people, I don't know. Is there something like this right now?
Because I've been to France only for a year now, I would like to start presenting my work in France or in Europe. So that would be something great to start with.
To collaborate with a studio or
like galleries and things like that. And then there's this other thing, which is I have this idea in my mind is I spend a lot of time in the theaters because of working with dancers and choreographers or opera singers.
Are you always invited there, or do you invest in that?
So I go because I love seeing ballet and
Wonderful.
opera and things like that. So I go as like to witness. But I also spend time backstage when I witness the creation of the new production of XYZ.
Nice.
Which means I'm surrounded by red velvet. You know the theaters,
Yes.
the curtains are red velvet, and then the chairs, and
Yes.
everything is like this red and gold. And this sculpture
so
is
nice.
gold. And I want to make this installation where I give back to the theater what I took. So I took the movement and made a sculpture from it. So if you know any theaters getting rid of red velvet curtains or damaged chairs or something, please let me know.
Please.
Because I want to collect those things to create basically a room with all the chairs from the theater and display the sculptures here and there. For me, art is not just something that you have to look, but it's something you can also experience. And having this room with the chairs basically displayed at a certain point where you can sit and see the sculpture, almost like a meditative stage, or
Correct.
and having, of course, sound, because for me, when I work with the dancer, they use music. When I
Yes.
work with the singers, there's sound.
Correct.
And so I want to combine everything, that cocooning velvet environment that would hold my sculptures here and there, and the audience could come and just sit for 1 hour and meditate if they want. Or they could just come and leave after 10 seconds because it's not something that they like.
I don't think they will come and leave. I mean, even like if there's someone who's not so interested, once you step in, I mean, even the atelier, once you step in, you're like, you will just get interested. Even if you don't know what is that, questions will pop, and
Yeah.
you will pause, and because it's different. And I believe always pure energy has its flow. And you're not doing this for getting trillionaire right now, tomorrow. You're doing this because it's really an idea and you're purely working on it. I hope you get everything you ask for. And if I get someone, it's my second day in Paris, so I don't think I can help you with that. But I hope you're gonna have enough audience for this. Another thing, which is the last thing, what is a question actually you would leave us audience with today, that we can reflect on ourselves, or we pause and think about it maybe, or a question that will get us better maybe?
You use the right words. It's pause. As I mentioned, my work is about movement. I also want to highlight that movement and time, they're correlated together. And time is something that we are all rich from, but we don't know how much.
Nice.
And that's what I'm trying to invite people to wonder about by pausing in that red velvet room or in front of a work, because I capture a very specific moment in time, and that moment is gone and will never happen again because time is past.
Right. Wait, before your question, I want another important question came. Not question, actually. Finally, I noticed exactly what is behind her work. You can correct me. You capture movement in an outside place, and you want to bring them here. You bring them here, and you bring people so that they witness or experience that sound or that movement in your atelier or in your work. So it's really about not just looking at something and, oh, nice lines, oh, nice deer, or nice, beautiful movement. It's more about, oh, this picture is about 1 hour maybe of motions or half an hour of choreography. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Beautiful, actually. Okay, now we can go to the question. Tell us the question.
So the question would be like, how would you, or what would you need to pause or to realize that sometimes sitting down and just giving yourself a moment to yourself, what do you need? And it doesn't have to be art. Some people, they thrive more to sit in the nature and in the middle of the forest or something like this. But I think we should all have our little secrets of what makes you pause and give yourself. That's free. I mean, you can do it just by sitting on the steps of the church looking at the sun.
Right. So if I can sum up the questions, like what makes you pause?
Yeah.
Wonderful, I think. Before we end up, I want to show you the sculpture because she pointed left side a few times. So please, you stay there, you hold
It's
this.
14 kilos.
14 kilos. I'm going to use my muscles and you hold this. I will come back. Please. This is a work of 5 dancers, you said?
So this is 4 dancers, and
4 dancers.
the one that is there that you can't show on the camera
Yes.
is the 5th person.
Beautiful.
So it's 2 pieces. And there's no correct way of reading it. Each movement comes from a line of a dancer moving in the space.
Thanks so much for listening. Thank you so much for sharing with us your beautiful journey. And I hope we didn't talk about so many more things you are doing. If it's okay for you, I would like to catch up with you in the next year again to see how much you grew and how much you developed, and maybe I'm gonna attend also into one of your exhibitions. I hope we can witness this. Have a wonderful day and thanks so much for today again.
Thank you.